Afternoon, guys. 16:26 on Thursday. I mean, look, they've just been busy in group, just sort of following this current move at the moment. So I'm going to pause it, just tidy all of this up, and then we'll go through what's happening and what's likely to happen. Just give me a few minutes to do that. Cheers. Okay, so let's bring it back here, and then I'll bring in the patterns one by one. So essentially, we've got support at 16,572, blue line. Okay, resistance 16,910, red line. Okay, so you could say that Bitcoin right now, on probably confirmation of another move up, would be trading sideways in this range. Okay, we've got a number of touches at the bottom, and then we've got a number of touches at the top. Okay, 3 and 3, confirmation of the range that Bitcoin is trading in. Depending on what happens here, roll over, move up to the top of the pattern, could confirm that we're just moving sideways. And, we could move sideways for some time. Obviously, the bulls are lined up here. The bears are lined up here. The bears are trying to push the price down. The bulls are pushing the price back up again. And it's a bit of a tussle. Okay. I'm in the camp that the bulls don't really, everybody wants cheap Bitcoin, understood, but nobody wants the crypto space in ruins. So, by letting potentially Bitcoin nosedive to 12, 13 grand, yes, cheap Bitcoin, great, but possibly devastating for the crypto space in sort of exchange liquidations, which are already happening on the where the price is at now. Bitcoin suddenly moves down to these lower areas, 11,000, 12,000 area, and potentially a lot more liquidations and a lot more trouble for the crypto space with regards to regulation coming in, which isn't a bad thing, good thing, bad thing, depends what side of the fence you sit on. But I just think there's a need for some stability now in and around this range. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Bitcoin trading sideways for a period of time. But don't get me wrong, there's still every chance that Bitcoin could move lower. I think we might well test 16,293, and we might well test the low 15s as well, where we've traded before. Okay, but at the moment, nice bit of trading on this side. That dip down, possible inverse head and shoulders there. Okay, we've moved up, traded above the line, moved down, trading in the middle again. Might move down, trade sideways, might move up, trade in the middle again. So I think, the overall range could be sort of marked out as, this here, which I'll do on my next chart. And we could find that we're just trading in this range for an extended period of time. Okay, I don't, you got to think with everything that's going on globally, Ukraine war, Ukraine-Russia war, recession potentially in the US, in Europe, in the UK, in China. You got COVID in China, which is causing problems there, rearing its head again, and they've removed the zero COVID policy, and it's just really spreading like wildfire. And for some reason, they don't want the aid of other countries. So, potentially China closes again. You then have supply issues that we had before. You then have companies not able to get the products that they need to make more products. And then you have earnings results, which are much lower because people haven't, companies haven't been able to get hold of chips again or what have you. So, suddenly the global economy is slowing down again. You got the Fed rate hikes, apologies, coming in. You've potentially had a set of results which are now going to lead the Fed to be more hawkish, more rate hikes, bigger chance of recession, no one's got money to spend, housing crisis because people can't pay their mortgages, etc. Okay, so you can't look at Bitcoin and suddenly think 2023 we're going to go to the moon and be bullish, because a lot of things have to click into place first before we can start seeing these sort of signals. So 2023 could be an extended period of sideways trading until we see I guess we see the US get on top of things, China get on top of things, and the economy start to stabilize, I guess. But looking at this right now, so in group, we were just following, what the chart was telling us. So looking at the bigger picture first, so let's just move out to the 20-hour time frame. Okay, bigger picture. Currently, this is what we're trading in. So rising wedge, possible rising channel. This should be a bearish pattern. Let's just quickly do that because the chances are that this pattern breaks down and not up. All right, so let's just make sure we're aware that this is a bearish pattern. 68% chance, I think, that this breaks down. If this does break up, then we're looking for a really strong move upwards. Okay, measured move on this pattern. Let's take a rough estimate. Okay, if we break down from this pattern, we're looking at the low 1500s again. Okay, so we're looking at testing these ranges again. Okay, support in this range. If we break up, essentially the same thing. If we break up out of this pattern, potentially looking at 19,000, 19,500. Okay, measured move on this particular pattern. Okay, so bigger picture is we're trading upwards. Okay, so we've had a touch of the top. Okay, we've had a fake out, we've had a touch of the bottom, and then we're just moving sideways. Are we going to see another touch at the top and then a move back down? Or are we going to fall out of this pattern, bearish retest, and then move lower to the measured move, which is, in and around this area? So that's one thing we're watching out for. We're just keeping an eye on these trend lines and this support line at the moment. So if we zoom in a little bit, I'll go to the 4-hour time frame, just reset the chart. So we were looking at local move, this pattern here. Okay. So depending on your stance, this is a ascending triangle. Let me just switch this particular line off a minute. That's just something I'll show in group. But ascending triangle and a continuation pattern. Okay, so we've come down into this ascending triangle and we've continued lower. All right, so continuation pattern. Okay, we've moved down into this pattern, traded in this ascending triangle, tried to break out, failed, and then broken down. So you can see the continuation structure here. Okay, but the bigger picture we're still holding at the moment. So you can see highlighted in the red circle, you can see where we're at right now. We're just testing this lower trend line of the main pattern, but we're also testing this support 16,572. Okay, I might just tweak that slightly. I'm just going to move that down 16,564. We've also got 618 fib 16,579 potentially as support as well. So we can see support there, support, and then trendline support. Area of confluence. Okay, we've got trend lines and fib all in this particular area. Interesting move just now. So if we go down to the 30-minute time frame, see the bull's really trying hard. Okay, so we hit this bottom line. Okay, 16,564. We've then had this move up, then sell pressure, strong sell pressure from the bears, pushing the price back down again to 16,564. Okay, so big tussle going on. And I guess, we're waiting to see what happens next. So what you've got to keep your eye on, in my opinion, two things. Okay, we're either looking for a move back up, okay, and a continuation into this pattern. But Bitcoin hasn't been able to break 16,910 for some time. Okay, so if we do move back up into this pattern, then what we need to do is we need to break above 16,910, retest, turn into support, few candle closes, and then continuation higher. Okay, and it would be good to see Bitcoin kind of do this in a slow pace. We don't want that surge up because that's just music to the ears of the bears, who see all indicators basically overbought, and then it's very easy for them to push the price down. What we need is some stable sort of price action, classic staircase move, Bitcoin moving up slowly, indicators are reset, and we want to be up here when the indicators are reset so we can have a good enough chance to push the price higher and then continue. Okay, so depending on how the price action moves, if we see this, I'm expecting another trap. Okay, if we see this sort of action where we're just moving up, creating a good pattern structure, okay, we may well see a break higher, retest and move out. Flip side of that is we're looking for that breakdown. So if we see that breakdown here, okay, we may test 786 fib, 16453, and then what we're looking for, we're not looking for any sort of entry here. We're looking for that bearish retest of previous support. Okay, so if we retest this trend line 618 fib and supporting line, and we see that bearish retest, then potentially we're looking for entry here, although I would like to see it get rejected a few times first, because then we might make our way lower to the measured move, which is around the 15,100, 15,400 area. Okay, so for now the bulls are trying hard to hold this area. So I'm not looking for much more than that right now. I don't think there's any trade at the moment. We're just looking to see whether Bitcoin can hold this area. Okay, and it seems to be struggling to hold this area at the moment, or sort of make any progress from this area with the sell pressure coming in. Okay, but indicators are looking overbought, oversold, and potentially we will see that move up if the bulls can continue to hold this area. If we continue to hold this area, and let's just say we start moving up with this particular trend line, we may well see then some volume come in and a move higher, and then another challenge of 16,910. And like I say, we're looking for some sort of structure to the move up to 16,910 to give us a chance to break out, retest, and move higher. If we see this, then I think we're just going to be a fake out and a move back into the pattern. All right, so that's what I'm looking at the moment from Bitcoin. I'm just waiting. But one thing I'm going to cover in group is really need to start thinking, we're moving into 2023. And let's be honest, I think nobody really knows whether Bitcoin is going to 12K, 13K, 11K, 14K at the moment. Everyone can have their opinion, which is fine, but I don't think anybody actually knows. So you've got to start formulating your strategy with regards to the purchase of certain cryptocurrencies, which are going to do particularly well over the next 12 to 24 months. You need to be building your strategy now on the basis that you're going to be holding coins for 2 years. And in that 2-year period, we're going to see some sort of challenge for an all-time high or some sort of major leg up and potentially a lower high than all-time high. So you're positioning yourself now for the next 12 to 24 months. And if you're thinking along those lines, you're in the position where even if Bitcoin does move down to, 13, 14, 15,000, the likelihood is we're going to get some major purchases of Bitcoin and the price is going to come back up fairly quickly. Okay. Everybody wants to buy Bitcoin down here. And then you're going to run out of sellers. No one's going to want to be shorting or selling Bitcoin down at these prices. So eventually those sellers are going to flip into buyers. And again, the price is going to move up fairly quickly. But if you hang on and you're waiting for the bottom, there's potential that you'll just miss what's going on. So you really need to start thinking about your strategy for buying altcoins and then holding them for the next 12 to 24 months and enjoying that bull market, but also having some money left to be trading with as well. Otherwise, if you're a trader, it becomes pretty boring if everything is tied up. So I've got my strategy and I've been averaging into a particular cryptocurrency, which I'm confident about over the next, might be 2 to 3 years. Okay. But I'm confident that the amount that could be made could be substantial. Okay. So start thinking about that strategy now and start working out, what do I really want to be holding? If Bitcoin does drop down and I'm starting to hold now, which are the weaker cryptocurrencies? I kind of tell the group that anything in the top 15 of the market cap. So So anything in the top 15. So I just, you're looking at top 15 coin market cap. Okay. Anything in the top 15, you're going to be fairly safe with. Maybe the top 20, maybe the top 25. Other than that, I think, if Bitcoin does drop to those lows, those 12, 13, 14,000, then potentially they're a bit more riskier. So I always say, look at the top 15 and then look to sort of average into positions on those top 15, and then look at the ones that are, have good white papers, have good roadmaps. I know it's not all important about what the coin does. In my opinion, we're just trading currency, but I think it's important that they've set their agenda for the next 2 to 3 years, and then you're looking to average into those on those coins. I'm not making any suggestions here. Like I say, I've got my strategy and I've been working on that for the last 2 months. And I'm, hopefully fairly confident in my position right now. But if you're waiting for this bottom to come in, potentially you could miss it. And like I say, 2023 could be a whole year of moving sideways, potentially. So you've got a bit of time to be thinking about what your strategy is, but you just don't want to be missing, all coins at the moment. So if we look at Bitcoin dominance, right? Bitcoin dominance has been going mental. Okay, look at this pump from Bitcoin dominance and still moving up now. So altcoins have been getting absolutely wrecked. So altcoins are at very, very low prices right now. So we've got to think, okay, when is Bitcoin dominance going to start moving lower? Are we going to see a touch of this upper trend line? Are we going to see it struggle with resistance here and a move lower? At some stage, Bitcoin dominance has got to start moving lower. When this starts to trend lower, these altcoins, which are so cheap right now, are going to absolutely take off. So you could see some very small mini altcoin seasons happening early 2023. And you almost want to be looking to pick some of those up at the moment. But, albeit being cautious. And this isn't trading advice, but this is just, okay, I'm not looking right now. Everything is quite cheap right now. Okay. Yes, Bitcoin might move lower, but when the markets start to recover, you've got to ask yourself, is Bitcoin going to be able to achieve a higher position than what it is now, say 16,500? And I would say the answer would be yes. Okay, so even if it does move lower, is Bitcoin going to be able to recover to above 16.5? Then yes, I think it will do. So the next 12 to 24 months, maybe even 36 months, are key for you, building a holding that allows you to almost have the lifestyle that you want, okay, that you've been looking for. But you have to put that work in now, and you have to, yes, it's a bit of a risk. You don't need huge amounts of money. If Bitcoin does return to all-time high in 3 to 4 years, say, okay, and as long as the crypto space is healthy, then potentially it's going to do that in the next 3 to 4 years. If you start buying now, you're going to be in a very healthy position with regards to what you're holding now in 3 or 4 years time. May seem a long way away, but you don't want to be saying, I wish 3 years ago I'd spent that small amount of money on some crypto positions, because now I could be sitting on 100 grand or 200 grand or 300 grand, okay, for a small amount of money that you could potentially put in now. So I'm going to leave it there. I just think you just need to start thinking about what is your strategy for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, on the basis that Bitcoin could either hover around this area for the next couple of months. Potentially there could be one more leg down, and it might take us to 13s, 14s. But is it going to stay in and around that area? Probably not. I think a lot of buyers are going to be buying in and around this area, and I think a lot of sellers are not going to be wanting to sell down in these low areas. Okay, you're not going to want to be shorting Bitcoin at 12,000, 30,000, 14,000, unless a major exchange has gone down, or unless something has gone on in the space which is just going to drive the price lower, which